I was introduced to We Care Arts, it's been a while, but I had a friend who came here and she knew how much I loved art. So when I had some major health issues that made me cut back on my working, and I knew I always used art as a kid to cope with things, and so I asked my therapist to make the referral as a way for me to help me cope with, the pain issues and things that were happening. I started here in 2015. I want to say it was early spring, which seems like, I guess it's been over 8 years, which is almost hard to believe, but We Care Arts has done so much for me. So I want to give a little backstory. So when I started coming here, everybody was really nice, and I always wanted to learn how to paint better. I did a lot of abstract stuff growing up, and I was, like I said, a huge source of coping, but expression and also joy, and it helped. Actually, I felt more connected to God and just helped me feel alive. And so the people were really nice. And actually, my now husband he would be in the back, and he worked on ceramics, and he made these things called scrubbies, and they had eyes, and they just had their own personalities. So I met him here. And so we've been married for 6 years in June. So obviously that was a huge life-changing thing. We Care Arts has really helped me in so many different ways. It's helping me to find people who understand what it's like to have physical and mental health issues, and just the camaraderie, even if that's not what you're talking about, just knowing that people understand, because there's a lot of stigma with mental and physical health, especially, now I do have a cane, which is recent, but usually people can't see when people have disabilities and invisible illnesses, yet the expectations are the same. And it can be really, really isolating. So coming here, knowing that everybody has their own story and the diversity with that, and also knowing that I can come as I am and be accepted. And now I feel like I can come and my guard can be down, which is really significant. I formed some really good friendships. But also, I would say when it comes to art, I was able to take something that I had a lot of passion with, and I had teachers that guided me and taught me new techniques, and which built up my confidence. We Care Arts has done so much, and also I felt like supported by the staff as well. And it just gave me a place to come. I've been through a lot of struggles and dealing with, physical and mental health. And so it's just been a big part of my healing journey, and I still have a long way to go. And I have so much gratitude for We Care Arts that I can't really say how much it's helped me. Like, words can't really describe, because coming here is just kind of helped me feel alive again. And even on those really bad days, like, I know I'm cared about, and I know I can, even if I can't do anything complicated, like they're like, well, how about this? Or I just say, this is what I feel like doing today, if I'm having a lot of overwhelm or anxiety, and that's okay. I was told that everyone was doing this project, and it was about in bloom, which to me, it was like being asked to think about growth. And I was, kind of in a tough place in my life, and I gave myself permission to, sometimes I can be rigid with my art, and other times I'm working to let myself be want to say uncensored, but like, you know, more flexible and just let myself create from here instead of, you know, being so focused on things looking right. And so this, I worked on this for a really long time. And so there's a lot actually in this. So the theme basically of In Bloom for me was that from really dark things can come really beautiful things. And there can be light even when you're going through hard things, and that so much growth can happen. So that was the premise. So and this is like a really different style for me, but as a kid I would draw little people. So I'll talk about it, but there's little people, actually, let me put a little closer. There are little people actually in the background, and it's like you have to pay attention. You know, and I did this as a little kid just with sketching, and it's like those represent like different parts, different parts of me, and you kind of have to pay attention, or maybe only certain people see that part of me. So in front, because I like, you know, I want to try to be someone's bright spot during the day. And my goal is to be a space of love, because I believe, I know there's a quote and I don't know who it's by, but we never know what someone else is going through. I drew this asteroid which had all these different colors, which are being reflected off the mountains, and then it's on fire. So it kind of represents chaos, which can happen when you're working on healing. And also it can just be, life feels chaotic. Life, it can be really hard. You know, and that's sometimes where growth comes from, when we have to dig really deep. I know for me, when I've had to dig really deep, growth has come out of it, even when I haven't, maybe I can't see it at the time. So I have a little person, hoping this will focus, sitting on the asteroid, like, here we go, we're going down. And then I have another little person literally upside down falling out of the fire. So that person's in a lot of pain and not in any control. And let's see here. This person over here is climbing up the mountain. So life is a battle, life is hard. And it doesn't mean it's not worthwhile, but there are trials, most of which people don't see. We all have trials. And then this person over here is just sitting on the mountain and kind of taking in the view and looking around, and has really funky purple hair. You may not be able to see it, but when I was younger, I would draw these little creatures that had like hair like this, with bright colors. I've always loved colors. Colors make me feel alive, and their expression, and they're powerful. And then, so like this person is drowning. They're trying to stay afloat. I'm sure there are people out there who can relate with that, because like I said, we all go through battles. But their head is above water, so that's the important thing. And then you've got another person here who's trying to climb on the rocks of the mountain while the water is kind of swooshing up, right? So it's a chaotic, there's a lot going on in this water. It's not calm, and you've got an asteroid coming down, and it doesn't mean that there's not beauty here, but it means there's a lot going on, and this person is also trying to climb the mountain. And then let's see, So this was like, I forget if it was origami paper or scrapbooking paper. And I wanted this person who represents me to be right up front. And I made them large because it helps give dimension to the piece. I wanted to show that this person was up front and that these mountains were pushed further back. So that's why this, this person is making a statement. And their surfboard says joyful, because I've been focusing on finding joy in life and taking the time and really appreciating those small moments, or taking those pictures, or just the beauty, and also like making memories with people I love and care about, and really appreciating what a gift they are. It doesn't matter what's happening or how I'm feeling that day. Really working to appreciate all the gifts that God has blessed me with and that are around us, and trying to just stop long enough to notice them and to really, those gifts and that joy, they lift me up and they give me strength. And I realize it's not selfish to take time for those gifts and to notice those joys. It's actually self-care, which is something I learned in therapy. And but I'm like, oh, I get it now. Still work in progress. And then I have another person that is sitting on the surfboard, kind of just along for the ride, kind of not sure what's happening, but also kind of enjoying that she can be part of the process. And I wrote Ride the Wave. And there's actually a story with that. So in therapy, I learned one of the things that I was taught is learning how to ride the wave of emotions. When an emotion comes up, let it come up, let it peak, and it'll go down. And that's something I struggle with. And one of my providers helped me learn, like, when you're not used to letting yourself feel, it's like a muscle. So it takes time to build up that capacity. And so that was like, it's almost kind of hidden in the water, but it was like a reminder to me, like, that's going to get easier. And then the emotion will go down. And it's like, okay, I got this. Like, it's not going to last forever. And then I love purple and colors. So that's why I love this pattern, and I took markers and liners and kind of just added to it. And I drew, there's a heart here. And I used construction paper, and I really like the anatomical heart. And I wanted this person's heart to be seen. Because that's really important to me. It's when I talked about being that space of love, and there's like kind of like sun rays kind of coming out of the heart, and that's about trying to spread a piece of my light to others, because I know others have shared their light with me, and I also feel like that's I want God to use me to be a light to others, even in circumstances that I don't think I have any light. So that was also a nice reminder for me. And then here's another person and she is hiding. She's scared, because sometimes change can be scary and the world can be scary. And then over here, so in one hand, this says life. And then you have like a rainbow, right? And then you only have half. And actually, I continued, because I had a teacher once who told me when there's borders, it's still part of the piece. And so it's kind of like I used like origami paper again on some of this. And then I just kind of let it go off the edge. And that's, I guess, also like the joy and the growth, but also kind of some mystery. Like, I don't know what's next. I don't know what my future holds. I just, I'm here right now. And there's a little colorful person with a lot like colorful hair. And That person also represents joy, but I purposely made the hair colorful because I am a firm believer in equality, and I love diversity, and I'm proud to support people who are diverse. And I love that God created us differently, and that's an important part of me. Yeah, so there's a lot here, and it was a process that evolved over multiple weeks actually, and I just let myself go with it, and I felt like this renewed joy and this renewed strength because, like I said, I was going through a hard time, and this really helped me work through it. And I got to really express myself. It was like, no rules. There's no rules here. And I look forward to doing more pieces where I give myself that freedom and that permission to explore, I guess, like myself and, my passion for art and just being able to look at things differently. And I feel so blessed that God gave me this passion, because it's definitely a huge part of my healing. It always has, and it's become an even bigger part of my healing since being at We Care Arts.